live in the Caliente garage. You on with your boy Chris. About to kick this live off in the Caliente garage. Turn that music down. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? We are live in the Caliente garage. Live in the Caliente garage. Today's topic, unhappy about his Goldwing. Unhappy about his Honda Goldwing. That's going to be tonight's topic. We're going to be talking about the 2023 Honda Goldwing. So thank you guys for just tuning in. I see you, Cheryl is watching. Quentin, CJ, Jim from Bakersville, California. How y'all doing? If y'all just tuning in, let me know what city, what state, what country that you're tuning in from. We live in the Caliente garage. Rob Wilkins, I see you, my brother. Robert White from Dallas. Gordon Glenn checking in from Canada. So we're doing it live in the Caliente garage. Been getting some requests from our viewers that would like to see more live in the garage. So we're going to start this thing off here in a minute, and we're going to be talking about unhappy about his Honda Goldwing. I'll let you guys get on here with me in just a second. How y'all doing? Live in the Caliente garage. Back by popular demand. What's up? Rome is watching. Bayou Rome. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? Y'all just tuning in. You on with Caliente? I'm Biker Caliente. I'm your host, and we're live in the Caliente garage. And tonight's topic, unhappy about his Honda Goldwing. Unhappy about his Honda Goldwing. And that's going to be the topic of our discussion here tonight. I plan to not keep you guys for no longer than I have to. And we have a special guest on the line, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown is unhappy with his Honda Goldwing. Are you there, Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brown, we are live in the Caliente garage. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. And you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, tell the viewers where you checking in from.
Right now, I am in Honda Goldwing, Virginia.
You in Virginia, representing. So, tonight we're talking about the 2023 Honda Goldwing. If you guys been keeping up with the channel, I know you guys know that the 2024 Honda Goldwing is going to be coming out here very soon, and they did not make any changes but the colors. But we're live and we're talking with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown actually has a 2023 Honda Goldwing, and he's not happy about his bike. So he's going to be talking to us about that and just sharing his experience with us and just kind of letting us know what's going on with his bike and why is he so unhappy about this Honda Goldwing. So, Mr. Brown, in your own words, kind of tell me, what's going on with your situation.
Well, with the bike itself, they did a lot of things that I disapprove of. I see where they can make the bike better, but they didn't.
Now you had,
I had to hold it.
excuse me, let me jump in for just a second because I left this part out. What motorcycle did you have before the 2023 Honda Goldwing?
I had the white 2008 Goldwing.
A white 2008.
Everything except the airbag model.
Okay. How long did you have your Goldwing, your 2008?
I got it 2008. And I got rid of it in 2023.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you had it over a decade.
Yeah, put 91,000 miles on that bike.
91,000 miles. So you have a lot of experience riding Honda Goldwings.
Yes.
Okay. So how did we get to the 2023 Honda Goldwing? Kind of pick up from there and tell us what happened and what's going on with it.
Through another friend, I heard that DCT was the best thing since sliced bread. I always wanted DCT, an automatic motorcycle. So I saved, went out, paid cash for it.
Okay.
The dealerships don't let you take up a test drive, so a lot of things you won't know. But getting the bike, putting some miles on it, every time I ride, I discover something I don't like.
So you say every time you ride it, you're discovering things you don't like. How many miles are on your 2023?
8,200.
Okay, so you got 8,200 miles on it. And when did you buy it?
I think it was the early part of March.
Okay, so you bought it. Okay, so you bought it earlier this year. So, what is it about this new Honda Goldwing? I know you said that a buddy of yours said that the DCT was the best thing since sliced bread, but what is it that you do not like about this new bike?
There's a lot. I'll start with the gas tank. Why did Japan think it'd be smarter and wiser to put a smaller tank on a touring bike? And everybody else is going to bigger tanks. 5 gallons, it goes way too fast. I feel like the old deuce to the quarter, the electric 225 Buick,
Right.
passed everything but a gas station, man. Every time I look down, I'm down at half a tank or less. I look at my gas gauge. I need more gas. I stretch out and get comfortable. Riding for me is therapeutic.
Right.
Before I even get the therapist to kick in, I gotta stop and get off the bike.
So the small gas tank. Now the Honda Goldwing has a 5.5 gallon tank on it for the new style, or everything after 2018, and then you had a 6.6 on the previous models from 01 through 2017. So your gas tank is too small.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hearing a lot of riders say that, you can get probably a couple hundred miles on a trip, and then you can just stop and fill up whenever you stretch your legs. So is that a problem for you? Is that pretty accurate, or?
Well, if you ride in econ mode, yes. That's bare minimum performance. My '08 and econ mode, it gets the same gas mileage. If you put it in touring mode or sport mode, you're gonna burn more gas than the '08.
Are you pulling a Are you pulling a trailer, or are you?
No, I'm not. I'm riding one up.
Okay.
I put it in sport mode, and it suck up a tank of gas real quick.
So when you put it in econ and tour mode, you're pretty much getting the same distance as the older Goldwing, but when you put it in sport mode, you're saying it's sucking down all your fuel.
Yes. Econ and my '08 get the same gas mileage.
Okay.
But the '08 Goldwing, it's let me put it like this. when I'm on the '08 Goldwing, towards the throttle I go. To have that same performance on my 23 model, I have to stay in sport mode. Just for the same performance. But it's going to drink a lot more gas. I don't like that.
So you're saying to have the same level of power on your DCT, that's in the same range as the previous bike that you had, you have to put the bike in sport mode, and as a result, you end up consuming more fuel.
Yes.
Okay. So a smaller gas tank is you don't like that. Anything else? Or
the seat. It's the worst seat I ever sat on when it comes to a motorcycle.
the worst seat you ever sat on?
Yes.
Well, I mean, can you elaborate more about the seat? Well, I mean, what do you mean it's the worst seat you ever sat on? Now you talking about the original seat on on your 2023, right? You saying it's the worst seat you ever sat on?
Yes. I started out on Suzuki Hayabusa in 06. I got the big body Goldwing in 08. I put a lot of miles on both bikes. I rode a few other bikes of friends of mine they had. But this 23 model, I never felt anything like that. It's too wide and it's too hard. It's flat. With my 08, I sat down in the seat, like sitting in a vehicle. Sit down, your butt goes in the seat.
Right.
With this, you sit up on top of the seat. There's no sinking in. And my passenger is too close to me. And she's a small lady. If she was a big girl, my back must be all up in her gut. I don't know what they were thinking, man. They did a horrible job redesigning this bike. I wish I had my big body Goldwing back.
Y'all gonna have to excuse me. You know, I'm trying to keep it together, and this is really not funny. Mr. Brown, this is really not a laughing matter.
No, it's not. The bike cost a lot of money, and they didn't think much at all. I think they had some young kids straight out of college design this bike, and they ran with it. I understand they're going to make it lighter, but you can give it more gas because you're going to burn that weight off.
Right. Let's get back.
A comfortable seat will sell the bike.
Let's go back to the seat part, because you were describing how you feel. You said that the seat does not allow you to sit in the seat, so you're not sitting in the pocket of the seat. You're sitting on top of the seat.
Right.
And then you said that your passenger was too close to you. What did you say about your passenger?
Yes, my passenger on the big body Goldwing. There's room between her and I.
Right.
My backrest.
Right.
With this new bike, there's no room between us. As she looked down forward, we bumping helmets more. And she's not a big girl.
Right.
But this new bike, the seat doesn't have a pocket. If you're a lightweight guy, you're gonna feel like you're sitting on the board on a long distance ride. That's why a lot of guys change the seat. I don't want to spend $32,500 and then buy another $2,000 seat. I'm not a fan of buying a brand new car and taking everything off of it and putting everything back on it. Well, all these parts are new.
Yeah, that's one. Now, that's one thing. Excuse me. That's one thing about the new style Honda Goldwing that I've always said when I first bought my Honda Goldwing, the new style Honda Goldwing, the first long trip I took was to Myrtle Beach, uh, and that was like 800 miles one way. So it was gonna be a 1,600 mile round trip, and that's just going from hotel from here to Myrtle Beach and back. I mean, there's no riding or nothing. That was 1,600 miles. That was when I first purchased my DCT, and I noticed that the seat was uncomfortable. Um, that was the first long trip I took. I said that the next trip that I take, the next long distance trip that I take, I'm gonna have to put a custom seat on there. So I can relate to what you're saying um, about the seat that comes on the Honda Goldwing. You're gonna have to change it out. Unfortunately, I think we're kind of all in that boat. Everybody that has the new style Honda Goldwing, I think a lot of people would prefer to have some type of custom seat. I think a custom seat is better than having no seat at. It's better than having the original Honda seat on the bike. So if you get a custom seat, it's better than the original OEM seat. But I understand what you're saying. You don't want to have to spend 30,000 on a motorcycle and then turn around and spend a couple thousand on a seat. I think that's what you was kind of
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
hmm So you're not happy with the gas tank. You're not happy with the seat. Is that is there anything else, or is that it?
I don't like the airflow that comes off the front of that bike. They didn't do a good design and a job with the fairings. They should have put the bike in a wind tunnel and sit on the bike and see how the wind feels. Even with that windshield, the new F4 I put on there, I was still getting a lot of wind off the fairings, and it pulled my shirt up all around my armpits. I never sat on a bike. My crotch rocket didn't do it. My big body Goldwing, my '08 didn't do it. And a few other bikes I rode didn't do it. Only this bike. You get on the highway, it'll undress you.
So you're saying that the bike, you don't like the front of the fairing because it let a lot of wind basically hit you, and you said it lift your shirt up?
Yeah, it pulled my shirt up around my armpits. From above my stomach or up my back. You better tuck your shirt in tight. Or the bike will hurt. So I put the F4 windshield on there. It didn't make a difference. Because I thought the original windshield was too thin and too small. And it would buffer.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the F4 windshield. It buffer a little bit less. It's much bigger, a little thicker, but the body is coming off the body of the bike. Now, if I'm doing a long distance ride, you think all that weight on my body, whether I got my shirt tucked in or a heavy jacket or what, you think I want all that weight on my body? I don't. And my passenger get a lot of wind too off the front of that bike, the way their fairings are designed.
So you
I put the windshield down. She said it felt like she riding with no protection at all. With her, I gotta keep the windshield all the way up.
So you're saying that you feel like they didn't put the bike in a wind tunnel?
I know they did. They should have designed it, put the design in a wind tunnel before they made it final. And you would see the smoke with the wind tunnel with the smoke. It show you exactly where the wind is going, and put a crash test dummy on the bike, and then measure exactly where all the wind is going. They want to make a sport bike, a sport/Goldwing. To me, that's an idiot design. You have one or the other. Now, if I designed the bike, it would be the big body Goldwing. I would change the headlight, tail light, make the saddlebag a little bigger, trunk a little bigger, a comfortable seat, and put all this new technology on that bike. that would be the best Goldwing ever made.
Right.
But I didn't design it. They didn't check with me.
We're live in the Caliente garage, and we're talking to Mr. Brown, who has a 2023 Honda Goldwing. I like to apologize for kind of laughing at some of the things you were saying. I'm not laughing at you. It's just that, you know, it sounds pretty funny, but it's not funny. It's a serious matter. The small gas tank, I do understand. The seat is hard, and I agree. You do not sit in the pocket. You sit on top of the seat. The front of the bike, the way it's designed, it does take in a lot of wind. On my Goldwing, I actually put wind deflectors. I don't know if you can see my wind deflectors. I actually got wind deflectors on the, maybe if I stand to the side. I don't know if I can kind of stand to the side and let you see. I have these wind deflectors on the front of my Goldwing. I had the same problem when I was riding in some of my earlier videos, and you guys that have been, you know, watching some of my rides. The wind would actually come up under my shirt and lift it up. And that was one of the reasons why it kind of tickled me, because I had that same problem. I had the exact same problem. On my bike, I put a F4 custom windshield, and I added, you know, I told F4 I want the biggest windshield that they have, and I put on wind deflectors. I got the lower wind deflectors. I have the side wind deflectors. You guys can check out my video on the wind wings wind deflectors that I installed. I purchased my Goldwing new in 2021, and I'm still accessorizing it. I'm still doing things to it. Unfortunately, Mr. Brown, you're not alone. When you buy your Honda Goldwing, that gets you in the door. So with that being said, you have to go and actually pick up all of the accessories that you're going to need to make your ride experience better. So even though, and I agree with what you're saying, you spend a boatload of money getting a bike, now you got to spend a boatload of money just to make the bike more comfortable. Something that you would think would come from the manufacturer already done for you. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And I think, you know, you're not alone. I think there's a lot of people, even some people that might be tuning in to this live feed, that might have the exact same complaints about the about the new style Honda Goldwing. And I'm not trying to down the new Honda Goldwing, because I actually like it. You know, I like this bike. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I had to do a lot of things to it to get it up to my standard, to get it to a point to where I actually like it. Just coming straight from the dealership with this bike, it wouldn't work for me, because, you know, there are some things that I would have to do to make it better. If you, like I said, if you've been watching my videos, there's a lot of things I've done. You know, I put the windshield on here, wind deflectors on here. I've done so much to it just to get it to where, you know, a custom seat, Healy bars. I've done a lot to it just to get it kind of where I like it. And once I've done all that, it made my ride experience so much better. And I really like it. But unfortunately, you have to spend additional money buying these accessories just to get it to where you like it. So I think that some of the people that's tuning in to this live feed, a lot of you probably having the same issue. Like I said, it's not anything to bash the new style Honda Goldwing, because again, I like the new style Honda Goldwing, but you got to put money in it to make it your own. You got to do some things to it to just make your ride experience better. Because if you know, if you leave a bike stock coming from the dealership, you know, you may or may not be happy with it. So we're live in the Caliente garage, and I'm just checking out some of your comments. We're on with Mr. Brown. who's been having some issues with his new style Honda Goldwing. If any of you would like to get on and you would like to talk about the topic, the phone line is open. You can call right now if you want to get on. 901-468-9032 if you would like to talk about the new style Honda Goldwing, or if you can relate to Mr. Brown, or if you just totally disagree with him. You know, here in the Caliente garage, we can talk, we can agree, and we can disagree. Some of you guys may disagree with Mr. Brown, and some of you may not. So if you want to get on right now, you have something you want to say about the new Goldwing, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you can call 901-468-9032 if you want to get on right now with your boy Chris out in the Caliente garage. And I'm just checking out some of your comments, and we're going to come right back to Mr. Brown and see if he has any other complaints about the Honda Goldwing. Roll with soul. I'm not going to even read your comment. Joe 24 said he owned over 30 motorcycles. A 2018 Bagger is the best OEM motorcycle he ever owned. That applies to the seat, the windshield, NVH, and overall ergonomics. Not even close. John Hall says you got to make it your own. And I totally agree, John. Robert White says he's running the Pinnacle lower wind deflectors and they work well. CJ Williams, can the new 2018 through 2023 be dark-sided? He also said you need those wind deflectors because the bike is so narrow that the body is exempt from getting blasted by the on the model. They need to make the model as wide as long as the big bodies. Joe also said, as you know, the seat comfort varies from individual to individual. I find the seat to be perfect for him, or he's saying for me. He loved the seat. It's the best OEM seat he's ever experienced. And that's Joe 24. Robert Kraft said he's staying with his 2008. He can't see himself spending that much money on the new wing. Seems like so many have. Guy like Lupo, he said one of his final pieces on his 23 is the Remus exhaust, expecting it to arrive in a few days. Like you said, Chris, you have to make it your own. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're live here in the Caliente garage, and I'm just reading some of your comments. And we are joined by Mr. Brown, who says he's unhappy with his new Honda Goldwing. He purchased it earlier this year. He got about 8,000 miles on it, and he's unhappy. So if you guys want to get on, if you got something you would like to say about this new Honda Goldwing, you can call now, 901-468-9032. So, Mr. Brown, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, so you said the small gas tank, the seat, the front fairing of the bike you're unhappy with. Is there anything else about the bike that you're just not happy with?
Yes, the nose of it, windshield, the gas tank, the paint. It's a beautiful paint job, that burgundy.
Uh-huh.
What they call red, whatever you call it.
Right.
But it's scratched too easy. You just brush up against your clothes, you get swirl marks in the paint.
Right.
I think they should have put a better clear. It seemed like they put no clear coat. I think they should put a better, a stronger clear coat on the bike. If you lean on it while you're working on it, you're going to scratch it with your shirt. I got a few swirl marks on it now that when I put my Honda spray polish on it, it seems like they illuminate. And I'm very particular about my bike.
Right. So you don't like the paint. You think the paint is not. You think the paint is substandard, or the finish. Right. Yeah. That's
also with that body style, the mirrors are too small.
Small mirrors.
Yeah.
Is anybody out there that's watching this video, do you guys agree with Mr. Brown, or do you feel like Mr. Brown is just complaining about a good product? I want you guys to chime in on this live feed. Joe 24 says noise, vibration, harshness. What do you guys think? Do you think that Mr. Brown is just a chronic complainer? Or do you guys agree with some of the things that he's saying? Now, I will say that the bike is not perfect. I will say that. I had to pretty much buy a lot of accessories and throw money at it to make it my own. But the bike is not perfect. So how many of you that are watching this feed agree with Mr. Brown? How many of you just think Mr. Brown is complaining about a perfectly good product? I want you to chime in on this video. OG Adventures, he says he liked his 2021, but he do agree about the hardness of the seat. Is anybody else that's watching this feed, do you guys have a problem with the seat? John Hall said he liked the product. It's not perfect, but it's a heck of a machine. As he said, he is very particular about his bike. I love it. Now, Sean Eakins say you should have physically looked closer at the bike. Robert Taylor says he's right. Should come ready at that price. Joe 24 says one good thing about the Goldwing is it has great resale value. If I had all the problems Mr. Brown has, that bike would be gone. I've sold some bikes in 6 months. Roll with Soul, I totally agree with Mr. Brown. His complaints seem valid. Robert White says, I think Mr. Brown has legitimate complaints. For Mr. Brown, it's different for everyone. I absolutely love my 2023 Ardent Red Tour. Wardale, I feel like if he's that unhappy with the bike, why is he holding on to it? It does have a couple of flaws, but it's a darn good machine. Adam Nunn said the pre-2018 Wing has excellent stock seats. Every Harley I own got a new seat on it within 2 months of purchase. Guy Lupo said one of my biggest problems is scuffing the stock seat. I've tried everything to clean it. Nothing seems to work. We'll either buy another one or get it reupholstered. So again, we're tuning. You guys are tuning in to the Caliente Garage. We're live. We're on with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown says he's very unhappy with his 2023. And I'm trying to do what I can to try to help Mr. Brown. And so we're talking about his situation, and I'm reading your comments. So if you guys want to tune in, if you have some advice for Mr. Brown, or if you guys agree with him, or maybe you even disagree with him, I want you to call now, 901-468-9032, so we can try to help Mr. Brown with his situation. And Robert said, yeah, he agreed with the guy. So Mr. Brown said the mirrors are too small. The front of the bike fairing is too small. The gas tank is too small. The seat is too hard. Mr. Brown, is there anything else about the bike that you don't like, or that's pretty much it?
That's pretty much it, what I don't like about it.
Okay, with that being said, is there anything you like about the bike? Is there anything about the bike that you wouldn't change? Is there anything that just, that you really like about this DCT? It's a DCT, right?
Yes, DCT.
Okay. Is there anything about the bike that you really like about the bike that you would like to share with us?
I like that it goes through the gearbox real fast. Whether you're going slow or fast, it twists the throttle.
Okay.
It just zoom, 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 right to seventh gear. I like that.
Right.
When I hit sport mode, there's no lag at all. There's no clutch.
Right.
You could be at a red light, sitting there for longer. You don't have to kick it in neutral.
Right.
You can leave it in drive and just wait for the light to change, wait for traffic to move. It makes riding easy. I usually ride one hand or the other. It makes riding so much easier.
No.
DCT is nice. Those who don't want to keep shifting gears and clutching all the time.
One thing you said to me, kind of before we went live, you said something about if you're in let's say you're in tour mode and some of your buddies take off and you needed to go to sport mode. What was you saying about that?
Okay. The sport mode is putting out the exact same power as the previous bike. I raced them both. My white 08, my son-in-law bought that, was on a highway racing. If he took off first, I couldn't close the gap. If I take off first, he can't close the gap. We can't pass each other. They run the same. It appears that it has more power and faster, but it's the same. But if you have a DCT model and you keep it in sport mode, just to have that same power, that same performance, same feel, you're going to burn a whole lot more gas, whether you're hard on the throttle or not. Because the RPMs jump up, the performance of the bike change like a sport bike ready to race, and already the gas tank is too small for that.
So, Mr. Brown, what is your plan? What is your plan? What are you going to do? I mean, are you going to, just put money in it and try to accessorize the bike and just make it your own, or what is your plan at this?
I would like to find me a 2017, the last year model for the big body bike.
Yes, 2017. That's correct.
I'd like to find me a 2017 with very low mileage in good shape, at a couple dollars, and we can swap bikes. Somebody else want to try it, they want to put a lot of money into it, and they want a DCT model, we can make a trade with a couple dollars.
So you're saying that you want to take your DCT, your 2023, and trade it for 2017 with one of the viewers that's watching this video?
Yes.
Did anybody catch that? Mr. Brown said that he's looking for a big body 2017 Honda Goldwing, and he wants to work out a deal to exchange his 2023 for the big body 2017 Honda Goldwing. Is that right, Mr. Brown? Did I hear you correctly?
Yes.
So you want to go? So you want to go back to the previous generation? Yes. Yeah. What do you guys think about? Go ahead, Mr. Brown. You got the floor.
I like the seat on the big body Goldwing. I like the fairings on the big body Goldwing. I like the weight of the big body Goldwing.
Mm-hmm.
And the performance. I have performance at all times. I don't have to change modes to get it. If my buddy decide they want to crack the throttle and take off, I gotta go to sport mode and wait a few seconds for it to kick in, then I crack the throttle. They 4 or 5 car lengths ahead of me. Really. I learned on a Suzuki 1300. That's what I learned on. And I'm an aggressive rider. Always have been. I don't dog it, but with this one, I got to baby it too much. I just can't get on and go.
One of my viewers are asking how many motorcycles have you owned?
I own 3, but I might have rode about 10. But I own 3. The Hayabusa 06, the 08 Goldwing, and a 23 Goldwing.
I'm also reading a comment by Sean Eakins. He's asking Mr. Brown, what would make your bike fit you?
The 23, what would make it fit me?
Yes.
Nothing. If I don't want to put all that money into, I already changed the windshield. But the wind reflectors and the passenger sitting so close to me, ain't nothing I can do about that. I don't want to put $2,000 to a seat.
For anybody that's watching this video, what do you guys think about what Mr. Brown is saying? He's saying that the paint is not good. He's saying those mirrors are small. He's saying that the front of the bike is, it's not designed correctly because it puts a lot of wind on his body. He said the gas tank is small. He says that the seat is hard. He says that it takes a long time to go from regular Econ or Tour before it kicks into sport mode, and by that time his buddies are up the street. I think you also said privately that the kickstand, you said something about the kickstand.
Yeah, I said the kickstand is way too small. Too short and too small. That's because of my big body Goldwing. I did put an aftermarket kickstand on it when it was bigger, heavier, chromed out, and the bike didn't lean over as much. But that's a small problem to a giant.
Mr. Brown, it sounds like to me you bought the wrong bike.
I did. I really did.
I mean, that's a lot of complaints, Mr. Brown.
Yep.
John Hall
Right.
says, selling real estate. Sometimes I tell customers, this might not be the house for you. This might not be the bike for him. OG Adventure says, I also have a 2016 Goldwing and a 2021. I will keep both my 16 way more comfortable. Quentin Edwards, is Mr. Brown a big guy? Somebody asking, are you a big guy? How much you weigh, Mr. Brown? How tall are you?
5'10", $195.
Yeah, that's not big at all. Quinn, he says he's 5'10", 100. You said 195?
Yeah. Yes.
Robert says big body wings are awesome. Buyer's remorse, Mr. Brown. The new wing are beautiful but so expensive. I love, like Chris would say, big sexy. So true. I love the previous wing. We're live in the Caliente garage talking with Mr. Brown, who's uncomfortable about his Honda Goldwing purchase. He bought a 2023 this year. He says the bike has 8,000 miles on it and he's unhappy with it and he wants to trade it with somebody that has a 2017 Honda Goldwing. If you guys could work out some kind of agreement. Is there anybody that's watching this live feed wanting to make a swap, give up their 2017 for 2023? Mr. Brown is on the line and he wants to make a deal. He's saying he's unhappy with his previous generation Honda Goldwing. The phone line is open right now. If you guys want to get on, if you have something you would like to say to Mr. Brown that can maybe help him, if you agree or disagree, 901-468-9032. Or if you just want to call in and just say hello, I'm going to give you guys that opportunity before we end the live feed. 901-468-9032. Scott Randall says the ultimate seat is the answer. Thank you, Scott Randall. He says the ultimate seat is the answer, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, what do you think about just putting the ultimate seat on your 2023?
I'll have to sit on one and go down the road first, because I will not buy another seat and be disappointed. I gotta see if I like it. And I don't know anybody that has an ultimate seat on a 2023 that I could take for a test drive.
And you say you said North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Is there anybody that's watching this live feed that's maybe in North Carolina that has an ultimate seat on their Honda Goldwing that lives in that area that will let Mr. Brown sit on their bike and see how the ultimate seat actually feels? If there's somebody out there watching this video and Mr. Brown is welcome to sit on your bike, be sure to put it down in the comment section. Silk 300 said everything is not for everybody. He said buy he said buy a Harley.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, Silk 300.
They cost more and they're behind in technology. No thanks.
Scott Reynolds said mine is a 2022 tour, and it made the world. Looked like it said it made the world. I apologize to my viewers that watches my channel. For some reason, Mr. Brown, some of the things he's saying, it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. So I just want to apologize to anybody that's watching this feed if my laughter offends you.
Well, it doesn't offend me.
Because
they shouldn't be offended.
It's not a laughing matter, but some of the stuff you say is you know.
It comes out comical, and my dad was like that. I mean, he's real serious, Man, he got upset, and he's serious upset. He say some of the things that make you get knots in your stomach.
Hmm.
I had to run downstairs in the basement and laugh a lot of times when he got upset.
Dave Gratton says it's not adding up to him. Karinsky Robinson, he said, or a victory vision. Marcus Hope said a cheaper fix by a Airhawk seat cushion. L Dog Stevens, my 2018 tour, I don't care for GPS or the seat. I did a Corbin seat. Marcus Hope says, just take the 2023 Goldwing back to the Honda dealership and trade it for an older model. Nick Hantz, 8,000 miles in 8 months. It can't be all that bad. Robert Taylor said, buy a Kawasaki and have it tuned. Thomas Dotson said, I thought Mr. Brown was from Virginia. Mr. Brown, where you say you located right now?
North Carolina.
You're in North Carolina, okay. Now, Mr. Brown is Mr. Brown is a driver, so he might be in one state or another, but he's in North Carolina. I hope that
I live in North Carolina right now. I'm sitting still in Virginia.
Y'all hear that?
Tomorrow I'll be down in South Carolina.
Right. So he lives in North Carolina. Right now he's in Virginia, and tomorrow he'll be in South Carolina. Hey, you on with Caliente? Live on the. Hey, what's going on? Who is this?
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Steve from Minnesota.
Hey, what's up, Steve from Minnesota?
Hey, really enjoy your programs and all your lives, and I just wanted to weigh in if I could.
Yes, go ahead.
I do hear Mr. Brown, and I understand, and I do think he has some valid points. I'm on my 5th Goldwing. I did have a 21 6-speed manual Goldwing. I put 16,000 miles on that. I did trade it in September for the 23 DCT, and I just can't say enough about that bike. I think it's faster than my 21 was. Sport mode seems to be more aggressive than what it was in my manual. And I used to ride Yamaha FJR 1300s too, and I had an 08 Goldwing too that I put a lot of miles on. So this new bike with the less weight and stuff like that it's kind of like morphing those two bikes together for me. And they are expensive bikes, there's no doubt about it, but when you're spending that type of money, everyone's got a budget, but those accessories can make a big difference to fit the bike for you. I need to get some wind deflectors like you're talking about, Chris, and other than that, I've got Healy bars on. I did send my seat in for a Russell Daylong seat, which I'm very happy with, and that was about $1,000 to send that to California and have them build that. Put some lights in the back and things like that, and have the belly pan.
Right.
So, backrest, things like that. Not nearly as accessorized as yours, Chris, but maybe could be a little bit of buyer's remorse. If you put 8,000 miles on that bike, Mr. Brown, you maybe could have if you didn't put anything into it, I don't know if you've completely, fully given it a chance. But I guess, Chris, you were saying, he does point out quite a few things he's not happy with. So maybe it is buyer's remorse, and there are really good deals out there for the previous generation Goldwing. And, they are a bigger bike, and there is more wind protection. I think we can all agree about that.
Steve, what year you said your Goldwing was?
I had the 21 6-speed manual.
The 21.
I put 16,000 on that, and then I traded it off a couple months ago for the 23 DCT.
Okay.
In September, and I've got about 1,500 miles on it right now. And I never thought I would like the DCT, but the shifting on these DCTs, like Mr. Brown was even saying, is just seamless.
Right.
And it allows me to concentrate more in traffic, especially at intersections, looking in my rearview mirror, keeping an eye on what's going on around me. I sure like shifting with the clutch too, but I am a big believer in the DCT now and how it's performed for me so far.
So Steve, you're pretty happy with your Goldwing. You're pretty happy with
I
it.
am. I mean, I took all my accessories off my 21.
Right. And switched them over.
Pushed them right over to the 23. And that 21 with 16,000 miles, they gave me 19.8 on trade. And you can see it. It's at Moon Motorsports in Minnesota. They got it listed for 21.9 right now.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Brown, are you having buyer's remorse?
I would say so. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the things that, the problem that you've been having. Do you think maybe just maybe putting more accessories, putting more money into accessories on your bike? Do you think maybe that would help your situation?
Some of my issues, yeah. With the wind, yeah. If I was to change the seat, that'd take care of that problem. But there's nothing gonna take care of that little gas tank.
Steve, what do you think about the gas tank, Steve?
I would say it's a little bit on the small side. I agree with Mr. Brown on that. However, it seems like I took a trip this summer in July from Minnesota to see my son in Seattle, Washington. So it was about a 3,400 mile trip. And that was on my 21 manual. And, for me to stay comfortable on my bike and to stay alert and everything else, I was getting off my bike every hour and a half to 2 hours anyway,
Right.
Well, guess what you're doing? You're getting gas, you're getting fuel, you're grabbing some water, whatever. And I know you do a lot more extensive traveling than I do on your bike, Chris, but I seem to stay fresher on the road when I'm stopping every couple hours, so I need gas anyway.
Do you pull a trailer? Do you pull a trailer, Steve?
I do not. I did with my, I had an '02 Goldwing and an '08 Goldwing, and I did have a trailer with my '02. And it wasn't like a Bush Tech or anything like that. It was a lesser expensive model, but I had no problems pulling a trailer with the wing, of course.
So, Mr. Brown, I guess your options would be to get rid of the bike or add some additional accessories, put some money into it, and just try to make the bike your very own. And and I'm trying to give you guys an opportunity to tell me how you feel about the bike. I have my feelings about it. I have my thoughts about it. But I'm trying to give you guys the opportunity to say how you feel. You guys are always listening to me. And I'm trying to give you guys the floor. But Mr. Brown, do you think maybe you can just put some money into it and try to make the bike your very own, or you don't want the bike, you just rather go back to the previous generation?
I'd rather go back to the previous generation. So I'm used to having that 6-gallon. On my '08 Goldwing, I would fill that thing up and I would run it down to the last quarter. And sometimes I don't realize I'm down to the last quarter. I get on that bike and ride from here to Ohio, non-stop to keep gassing it. I take long trips, I stretch out. That's why I always eat before I get on the road. Because I don't want to be hungry, stopping for food and stopping for all this stuff. I'm one of those guys, I like to get to my destination. I don't care about what's in between. Some people like to make a million stops for the excitement what's in between. When I get to my destination, I get all of my excitement there. Just like I do in this semi, I run 600 miles and won't say nothing of it. I don't need fuel. I got food in here. Got my music. I get to my destination early and I relax.
Mr. Brown, if there, I know you mentioned a Goldwing, the previous generation. Is there any other bikes out there that you would probably be interested in, or you just pretty much the previous generation Honda Goldwing is kind of what you rather have? Is there anything else out there that maybe you think that can bring you to a level of satisfaction?
Well,
that you would need as a motorcycle owner, other than the Goldwing, or I mean, what's your stance on that?
Well, I rode the Harley. I would say no. And I rode the Goldwing. I rode a few Harleys. I rode the BMW. I like that. And that has a 7-gallon tank, but doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the Goldwing has. It wasn't quite as comfortable as a big body Goldwing, but it's more comfortable than the 23 Goldwing. So if I was to switch to anything other than a Goldwing, it would be the BMW. When I first got the bike, I was about to make that switch, and I decided not to get the bike a chance. I should have made that switch even though I would lose $7,000. I would love to have that 7-gallon tank. Heck, if the Goldwing had a 10-gallon tank, I would jump on it for that reason alone. But I don't see that ever happen.
Well, Steve, is there any other advice you would like to give Mr. Brown?
I don't think so. I mean, I definitely think I've been listening for about the last half hour, and it does seem like Mr. Brown would be happier with, the earlier generation bike. And Chris, you still have your 5th generation, don't you?
Yeah, I still have both Goldwings.
Yeah, so I mean, you're a definite, good resource on that. But just from my modest, interpretation of Mr. Brown, it sounds like he'd be happier with that 2017, and there's nothing wrong with that, at all.
Right.
And I'm sure we've all made some costly mistakes before, but if you're going to be happier, and with 8,000 miles, I do think he's rode a lot of miles on it, so I do think he knows what he wants.
Right.
I would just say if a person had a Goldwing, the new generation, 18 on up, and they're worried about the wind and the seat and different things like that, sure, it costs a couple thousand, maybe even 3,000, but I've got the F4 larger windshield as well, Chris, and the Healy bars made a big difference, and a nice backrest and seat. I think those things right there would add a lot of comfort, and allow that rider to put his, make it his own. And those are probably the first things I would do, if I wanted more protection and more, be more comfortable without necessarily breaking the bank, because, you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on accessories, as you know, Chris. So, I mean, you've got it all on both bikes.
Right, that's correct.
And I appreciate that. I really do enjoy your videos. I use them quite often. So, but I can hang up. I just I know it's kind of a dilemma. I've been there too, and it's no fun. But I respect everything Mr. Brown said about the new bike. I think I've heard this from Cruiseman too. I do think Honda could do a little better with their paint. And I think I heard Mr. Brown say something about better clear coat or something, but I do feel it scratches pretty easy. It's pretty soft. I don't know what you think, Chris, but maybe a little bit of an upgrade with the paint or the clear coat. I'm sure it's expensive for Honda, but that's just my opinion too.
Yeah. Okay.
But, I thank you for taking my call, Chris, and good luck to you, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
And be happy with what you're riding. That's the main thing.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
I appreciate you, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off, Steve. I did not mean to cut you off. If I did, my apologies. We're on with Mr. Brown. Thank you, Steve, from Minnesota. Steve had called in and offered, to share his testimony. We're on with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown has the 2023 Honda Goldwing. He purchased it 8 months ago, and he's actually unhappy with his purchase. Go ahead, caller. You're on with Caliente, and we're live in the Caliente garage.
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
Hey, who is this?
Mr. Brown. Well,
Hello.
What's your name?
I'll tell you what. My name is Robert.
Your name is Robert. Where you calling from, Robert?
Michigan.
What's that again?
Michigan.
Detroit. All right, Robert in Michigan. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah. At the price of the new Goldwing, they add a couple $1,000s. Really isn't that much. But to keep up with the riders like he was talking about, it's a situation where I find that the standard transmission on the 2023 will give him the performance that he wants. Now, what I really like on the 2023 is a situation in the new Goldwings, they have hydraulic lifters, where previously you had to have your lifters adjusted periodically. And the upgraded suspension, which I think you can attest to as well, Chris, especially on your ride back and forth from California. And also in that ride, I think you could give Mr. Brown a comparison on that previous Goldwing compared to the new style because of the riders that you had with you going back and forth to California. I think you will find there's not that much of a difference as far as fuel. And what's your take on it? What's your take on it, Chris?
Well, I'm just listening. Like I said, I was trying to give you guys a chance to just, tell me how you feel. For me personally, I wish the Goldwing tank was bigger, honestly. It's too small in my opinion. It's not a deal breaker. I wouldn't give up the bike because of the size of the gas tank, but if I had my choice, I would rather have a bigger fuel tank. And because if you pull a trailer,
Okay.
Anytime you pull a trailer, you're going to consume more fuel.
Okay. Well,
And
in the
that's
same comparison, let me ask you, Chris, what's your take on the riding two up?
on the
You prefer the previous Goldwing or the new DCT that you have?
So you're going to put me on the spot.
Exactly.
You go. See, you slick. That's really what you want to ask me. That's why you called in. But no, seriously, if I was riding two up, which bike would I rather be on? Is that your question?
Yes.
Turn your radio down, Steve. I mean, Robert.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. If I was riding two up, honestly, the first lady likes the previous generation. She says it has more bells and whistles. It's more comfortable when we're traveling down the highway. She has more room. Now, for me personally,
He does have a point with the kickstand too.
For me personally, go ahead, Robert.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, I was just
but he does have a valid point with the kickstand due to the fact that, matter of fact, I was looking the other day, Traction Dynamics even addressed that issue, that there is a tip-over problem with the new Goldwing, the new generation. And also there's inadequate protection in case it does tip over, which is why he came out with, I guess, a new kickstand or something that you put on your kickstand to address that issue. So he does have a valid point with the kickstand.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Brown, did you say the kickstand was too small in your opinion?
Yes. Too little and too short.
Too little and too short for the kickstand.
As the ground is going to the left, you put the kickstand down, the bike will lean so far to the left, you'd be scared to walk away from it. You better not forget to pull your brake handle. The brake.
Now, the comfort, as far as the wind and the comfort, you can address that issue just a couple $1,000s more. I mean, that's pretty much nothing after $32,000. But in the same token, you can't make the bike longer to address the tightness of a second rider. I don't care what seat you put on there. You can't really do anything as far as that's concerned.
Does anyone else have this problem on a 23 model? When you have a passenger on the back, she got her foot on a foot peg, and you come to a red light, you put your feet down, your leg is hitting her foot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have that problem. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have that problem, especially if you got a size foot over 10.
He wears size 8. Can't help it, man. I'm comical. I can't help it.
But yeah, what I'm interested in too is if the 2024, if they made that any longer or if they made that any shorter. Because I have noticed that in the new generation, they did make the bike shorter. And I think in the 18, they just not too long ago changed and opted to a bigger trunk. So therefore, the only thing I like about the new DCT is,
oh, help me, Father.
You know, if you're not really into sport riding anymore, it's a comfortable ride. It gives your left hand the chance to rest. But the suspension is a whole lot smoother than the previous generation. I can attest to that.
True. I like the suspension.
Wow.
And the remedy that in the previous generation, that's It's not a cheap task to do. So you have to compare the apples to oranges, you know. But if you want the performance, I'd tell anybody, get the standard transmission over the DCT.
Oh, God.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely.
Really? Okay. I'm
Because
listening to
just
you,
like
but I'm
you were
also
talking about switching to the sport mode, you don't have that issue with the standard transmission. All the power is right there available to you.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that.
So if nothing else, you can just try it, go and test ride one and try it out, and see what your opinion is.
Dealerships in my area don't let you test ride them.
Pardon me?
The dealerships in my area won't not let you test ride them.
Oh, okay. They still have that. Well, you might find a year-old that it might let you test ride.
Silk 300 says, Chris, I think you're pranking us with this live stream. I'm honestly not pranking you guys. This is for real. Again, I apologize because one thing about me, I love to laugh. You know, I'm very ticklish. Like, that's the word I can use. So when I listen to Mr. Brown say certain things, it tickles me. I'm trying to be serious, but you know, it's hard. But no, seriously, this is not a prank. Someone says Mr. Brown can't be for real. No, he's serious. I mean, this is serious.
I really believe he is.
He said,
myself, I really believe he is, because there's a lot of people that feel the same way about the new Goldwing, as well as just like he does.
Yeah, and see,
so he's not alone in feeling that way.
Now, and here's another thing that you guys, I never even say this. I never say this, but a lot of times, guys will watch my videos, and I'm not talking about you, Mr. Brown. I'm just speaking in general. Guys will watch my videos, and they'll go out and they'll make the purchase and get certain things that I have. Maybe it's a review, or maybe for whatever the reason they may go out and buy something, and then if something is not right with that product, believe me, I get a phone call. I can only just go by my experience and tell you, how that product is to me. Everybody's different. What works for me may not work for somebody else. But you'll be surprised how many people will watch my vid and go buy a product that I have or that I'm using. And then if it doesn't work out, then I got to hear it. So I just try to share with you guys my experience. But it's up to you to do your homework. You got to do your homework. You got to do your due diligence. What works for me may not work for you. So I just want to put that out there. But no, this is serious. I apologize for laughing. It's not a prank. I'm not pranking you guys. Mr. Brown is for real. And to be honest with you, actually, Mr. Brown he's holding back. I'm gonna be honest with you. This guy's holding back because what's that, Mr. Brown?
I am holding back.
He's holding back, and I'm being honest with you. He's holding back because I've listened to him privately. I've listened to him privately, so it's some things that he has left out. He's really holding back. He's not saying it the way I hear him saying it when the camera is not on. See, Mr. Brown.
I don't think they will appreciate that.
See, Mr. Brown, you making me laugh. I'm trying to be serious, y'all. I'm trying to be serious, but y'all can make me laugh, so don't try to make me laugh. But Mr. Brown is holding back. He's not saying it the way he tells me privately. He's kind of he's kind of sugarcoating it in the way he's saying it.
I can believe that, especially when you talk about spending that kind of money for a bike.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you're spending car prices for a two-wheel vehicle. So.
Yeah, Mr. Brown complained about the audio, which he didn't say anything about the audio.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
I didn't. That's why I'm kind of laughing. It's not funny, but I hear you privately, so they don't know. They don't hear what I hear. So I guess tell us about the audio, Mr. Brown.
The speakers are small. I mean, it sounds good when you're sitting still. When you're going down the road, like I say, I'm an aggressive rider. When you're going down the road and you get above 60 miles an hour, those speakers are crappy, man. They're junk. They're pure junk. You cannot get a decent sound out of a tin can. That's why these guys put these 16 and 22-inch speakers on their Harley Davidson so they can hear that music clear, loud, and powerful going down the road. The 23 Goldwing going down the road sound like a AM radio with a 9-volt battery. Hey, Ron, that sounds funny until you guys started laughing.
You right, though.
Now, I do like the Apple CarPlay. I really like that for the navigation. That was an upgrade that Honda really needed. The Apple CarPlay and the Apple CarPlay with the navigation coming out the telephone is sweet. I ain't got no complaints with that. And all the accessories on the dashboard, I ain't got no complaints with that. Like I said before, if they wanted to make a better Goldwing, they should have left the big body Goldwing, the 23, they should have made it a big body Goldwing, change the headlights, tail lights, put more lights on the bike, and put all this new stuff on the big body bike.
There you have it.
Would have been a sweet bike.
Oh God. There you have it.
You got a point with the sound. That's why Haskell installs and Memphis Sound is busy.
Yep.
Was that a question to me?
No, that's an observation, actually, because I've noticed from the previous generation and the new generation, just about everybody's searching for a better sound on the bike.
Well, my 08 Goldwing, I put upgrade speakers in that. And it made a big difference.
So yeah, they're both lacking in the audio department, but they don't have the Rockford Fosgate like the Harley, plus the speakers are little, and there's not much room for upgrades either.
Yes.
Dave Gratton.
Right.
Dave Gratton. You're wrong. You're wrong for that.
Some of these comments I won't even read, Chris. I'm reading comments and listening and talking. Some of these guys are hard on me, man. They're hard on me. They're hard on me, Chris. If they can see me, they probably smack me, tell me shut up.
I can't even keep a straight face, man. And I don't even have my shades. I can't cover my eyes up. Dave Gratton said maybe. I can't read it. I'm gonna have to end this live feed, man. Y'all done.
Don't end it. Don't end it. I haven't had this much fun in a long time.
I'm trying to be serious, man. How can I do a serious interview if I'm laughing? Dave Gratton said maybe the bike was made on a Monday or Friday.
Yeah.
The only problem, the main problem Goldwings had the previous generation and the new generation. They've always had a situation where they weren't really comfortable for tall riders. If you're 6 feet, 6'2" or whatever, it can be pretty tight.
Yeah, I did hear that. But I'm 5'10".
Oh, I can tell you it is because I'm 6'2".
Okay.
It's pretty tight, and it just so happened the way my seat is, I'm able to have a little bit of room.
Dave Grady said maybe the bike was made on a Monday or Friday. Employees were still drunk on Monday. Employees were still.
No, it's not a situation of being made bad. It's a situation of bad engineering.
He said employees were still drunk on Monday and Friday.
Well,
they couldn't.
The bike wasn't engineered for. It's like the bike wasn't engineered for an American rider.
They couldn't wait to get the heck out of work for the weekend.
Because they had to have the bike was actually had to be tailored, with a smaller individual and a smaller passenger.
Being serious. Okay.
I agree with you. John Hall said, "Forget being serious." He want to hear it raw like it is, and I'm the man to give it to him.
What is a shame more than anything is that they want to charge you, $30,000 plus for a vehicle that I feel is unfinished.
You could have
said it better. A lot of the things should have came standard.
Yes, you couldn't have said it better.
John Hall said,
"I like
forget
to find
being
a 2017
serious.
In good condition with low mileage and a couple of dollars, but I got a clean, clear title."
Casey Barrett said, get the rocker amp and speaker upgrade.
Rocker amp and speaker upgrade.
Yeah, he's saying get an amp and a speaker upgrade for the audio. I'm gonna have to end this live feed in about 5 more minutes. Robert from Michigan, I appreciate it. I'm gonna see if I can let one more person that might want to get in before I end this live feed, because I'm done. I'm done.
No problem, Chris. But I think your viewpoint wouldn't be bad, especially after your trip back and forth to California.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it. For me personally, I like the previous generation Honda Goldwing, but I had to do a lot to it. That's the thing about owning a motorcycle. When you buy your motorcycle, you're just getting in the door. You're just getting in the door. Now you got to get the accessories that you need to make the bike comfortable.
And that's the problem. After spending $30,000, you shouldn't have to spend all those extras. You shouldn't have to change the seat.
You shouldn't have to, but that's the reality. And that's why you guys will still see me doing videos, still see me adding accessories, I'm not finished. I've been doing this for years and I'm still not finished. So unfortunately, when you buy the bike, it doesn't come with it doesn't come with all the bells and whistles. You got to throw money into it. That's the only, I don't think there's any bike that you can buy that's just ready to go and 100% fully loaded, fully custom out. I'm not even sure if the CVO will give you everything. I'm not a Harley rider, but I'm not even sure if the CVO will give you everything. And those bikes are what, 50, what are they around 50,000, 50? They don't. So when I bought my Goldwing, I had to put highway pegs on it. I had to put a windshield on it. I had to put wind deflectors on it. I had to put a trunk rack on it. I had to put the final thing was the ultimate seat. I had to put an electrical charging outlet on it. I put several of them on there. I had to put grips, custom grips on there because the grips didn't feel as good, but the Gold Strike gave me the fatter feel. I put these cube lights on here. So it was a lot of things I had to do. I had to do a cup holder. I had to do a phone holder. I had to do, I had to put a charging hub in the trunk. I had to put trunk lights in the trunk because there's no trunk lights. So if you're out at night or if you're on the side of the road and you need to go in your trunk, there's no light, and Honda charge you for that accessory trunk light. That's an additional charge. So the point that I'm making is that when you buy your Goldwing, it's not going to have everything on there. Unfortunately, it just doesn't. The only way you can maybe get around that if you find a used one, and if you can find a used one where somebody has already put the accessories on the bike, you're going to have to do it. You can save a lot of money if you can find a bike already accessorized. Now, if the price is, if and this is serious, if the price is right, I'll be, you guys can make me an offer on my 2016, and it's got every option available. And
I'll make you an offer, and you can have my 23.
See,
We gotta talk when you hang up.
See, y'all trying to, y'all want to see me laugh, and I'm trying to be serious. Now, how y'all gonna take me serious if I'm laughing? So
I take you serious at all times.
So I know Robert is trying to, he's trying to make me laugh.
No, on a serious note, I did have a chance to ride the BMW, and he's right. The only problem with the BMW I didn't like is it doesn't hold the road against the wind like the Goldwing does.
Mm-hmm.
That wind will push you around on that BMW. That's the only thing I didn't like about it.
You felt that the BMW was pushing you around on it?
Oh yeah. The wind will push you around on that BMW. Where the Goldwing will hold the road, be more steady.
Well, Mr. Brown, if you want to make an offer, I got a 2016 fully loaded with every option known to man.
We're gonna talk when this video ends. We'll talk.
John Hall said Mr. Brown wants
Mr.
my.
Brown, I wish you well, and have a trail, Chris, till we run across each other.
Okay, I appreciate you calling, Robert. Thank you, man.
All right. Gentlemen, have a good evening.
All right, Robert. Have a good one. And that was Robert from Michigan. I appreciate you. God bless you there, Robert from Michigan. And again, I apologize to anybody that's watching this video. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing at Mr. Brown. I'm just laughing at some of the things he's saying, which is not funny, but it is funny. I want to take one more caller if somebody wants to get on before I end this live feed. 901-468-9032. This is your opportunity. The phone line is wide open if you have something you want to say. Now will be the time. And I'm going to read a couple of these comments, and I'm going to end this live feed in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to get on with your boy Chris, you got something you want to say, some advice for Mr. Brown, if you agree with him, if you disagree with him, or if you just want to say what's up, now is the opportunity. Player Ben said, Chris, why do you put all your accessories on your bike? I mean, is it for the look? No. And that's a very good question, Player Ben. I'm glad you asked that question. No. The accessories that I put on my bike is to make my ride more comfortable. Now, I put a few things on there to kind of dress it up a little bit, but the accessories that I put on my bike have to serve a purpose. And looks is not a purpose. It has to actually have a function. It has to do something. It has to make my ride more comfortable. So with that being said, no, I didn't put the accessories on my bike to make my bike look good. Now, the bike does look good as a result of me putting on accessories. But I'm not putting on accessories to make the bike look good. I'm putting on the accessories to make my bike more comfortable. I had to do it on my 16. I had to do it on this this DCT. And shouts out to Gold Strike for making such wonderful accessories for the new style Honda Goldwing. And I said in the last video, I'm kind of glad that Honda didn't change the body style, because at that point, when the bike rolls out, then you guys wouldn't have any accessories for a while. Only accessories that you would have is the accessories that Honda will sell, and they don't generally sell a lot of accessories. So the aftermarket companies have to catch up and make things for the Goldwing. So with that being said, you do have to throw money at your bike and make it more comfortable. I had to do it on my 16. I had to do it on this model, and I'm sure that there's other people out here that's watching this video that did the same thing. John Hall, Mr. Brown wants your 2016. Sell it. Okay, Dave Gratton, the truth came out. Roll with Soul. Gentlemen, you guys have a great evening. This has been very entertaining and one of Chris's best moments yet. Thank you, Roll with Soul. Silk 300 said motorcycles are hobbies. They all cost additional money. Roll with Soul said, I'm surprised that the radio works with the way Mr. Brown is talking. Sean Eakin said 1970 Honda versus 2020 Honda. Cars get bigger. Motorcycles get smaller. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
David Gratton says that's why they came out with the lemon law to cover the defects. Timothy Robertson says he's not a Goldwing owner, but sounds like the new way of doing things was not the better way of doing things. Roll with Soul just to think this is live and uncut. Better. This is better than Saturday Night Live. Y'all are not. You guys are not gonna make me laugh. I'm sorry. I'm done. Y'all can't make me laugh. My laughing is over. Y'all wasn't supposed to see that. Casey Bear said, I wish we could see both tire pressures at the same time. Robert Kraft said he loves my Corvette hat. Thank you. I'm glad y'all noticed that. The Corvette hat. Somebody noticed it. Quinn Edwards, I bought an amp for my 2012 Wing. Dave Gratton, that was very funny. I'm not going to repeat that because you're going to make me laugh. Sean Eakin said Mickey Mouse bike. Silk said it's better than Saturday Night Live. You're on with Caliente. We're live in the Caliente garage. We're going to end this in one more minute. One more minute. Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Is there anything else? Let me just make sure. You mentioned that the radio, the paint, the mirrors are too small. The front of the bike is too small. The wind getting up under your shirt. A small gas tank, the seat, you're sitting on top of the seat and you're not sitting in the seat.
Yes.
So if anybody watching this video, if anybody watching this live feed, Mr. Brown says that he want to trade his 2023 for a previous generation. If anybody out there got a 2017 and you would like to make a trade, Mr. Brown would like to work out a deal with you where you can get his 2023 and he gets your 2017. Was that correct, Mr. Brown?
Yes.
And I'm going to leave my telephone number in the description of the video. If you guys would like to reach out, if you want to make a deal with Mr. Brown, I'm going to leave my telephone number. I have a public number, 901-468-9032. Dave Gratton says, sound like you walked into the dealership, like the color, signed the papers, paid cash, walked out, and that's why he's having buyer's remorse. Terry Childress, do not put the wings down. They still go. You're on with calling and saying we're laughing and calling and taking a watch. I don't understand. Maybe that's some typo there. Stand by. We had one caller trying to get in. We had one caller trying to get in, and we're going to see if we can get him back on. Hey, you're on with Caliente. We're live in the Caliente garage.
Oh. What's going on?
You tried to call. I'm sorry that we couldn't get you in, but we're live in the Caliente garage. We're on with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, if you're just tuning in, he is unhappy about his 2023 Honda Goldwing purchase.
Oh, wow.
And he's saying that he would like to swap with anyone that has a 2017.
That has what?
The 2017.
Really?
He says that the paint is soft, it's easily scratched. He said the mirrors are small, the front of the bike fairing is too narrow, wind getting up under his shirt. He says that the gas tank is small. He says that the seat is hard. He says that what did you say about the audio on that thing? Mr. Brown?
The speakers are too small. The speakers are too small. You get above 60 miles an hour, it sounds like it's coming out of a tin can. Wow. Wow. Man.
You said something about a 9-volt battery or something you said.
Oh, it sounds like those old radios back in the day, the AM radios that run off a 9-volt battery. That's what the speakers sound like. Oh, man. Is it that bad? Yes. For me, it is. I love my music. At home, my music thumps. You can hear my bass miles away.
That was actually called a transistor radio. I know what you're talking about. That was it was a transistor radio. You can probably get them from Radio Shack, and you put a little 9-volt battery in the back, and you lift the antenna up. Yeah, that's pretty bad, Mr. Brown. I mean, to compare the stereo on a Goldwing to a transistor radio.
Just tell it like it is, man. I'm the Bernie Mac that nobody wants to say. I don't mind saying it.
Well, the thing of it is, I noticed, when they first came out, it wasn't hard to pick them apart. There was a lot of things wrong with some of the stuff they fixed. some of it they left alone. You know, one of the things they did at first year when they came out, 2018, maybe 2019, they had an optional stereo system that you could get, and I never saw one. But I remember watching a video. Max McAllister he was building a Goldwing, the new generation. He was building one, and he ordered all kind of accessories, and as well as putting some of the stuff that he had himself, you know, from Justin Dynamics. But he was putting in that big system, and you had to just about disassemble the bike front to back to change that out. And he did like 2 videos on it, and he quit. I never even saw the final video, the final finished product. I don't know what happened. Maybe he just gave up on it, but he tore that whole rear end apart. And it was like a $1,200 option to get the upgraded stereo system. And, but yeah, Honda dropped the ball in a lot of stuff, you know. But they didn't sell it, I guess.
Well, I like my bike. I mean, you know, I'm just giving Mr. Brown the platform to say what it is he, you know, how he feels about the Honda Goldwing, which is not my view. I just want you guys to know that I love my DCT Honda Goldwing.
Yeah.
But I had to fix it up. I had to do some things to it to make it my own.
You know, you really got it fixed up too.
Yeah.
One of the things that, you know, of course, you bought a new seat, but the fact that it has a bad seat, or he built Mr. Brown, blame Jim in case, you know, just introduce myself. One of the things about the seat, almost all motorcycles come with an inferior seat. So that by itself is just kind of normal. Most people have to buy another seat. Put a cushion on it or something, because most bikes come with an inferior seat. But the stereo, yeah, I guess they dropped the ball on that.
What bike do you have?
I have an 08 Goldwing. That was that's a good sound system on the second generation 1800. It's just a good sound system.
I love my stereo system on my 16. It's, you know, I've seen these guys online. They going getting amps put on their bikes. They're getting speakers. They make it, cutting out the saddlebags and putting speakers in the saddle. And I'm not knocking what a person do. I mean, it's your bike. You can do what you want to do. I don't want to do that to my bike. I love the way my system sound on my 2016. It sounds good.
Those were good sound.
Yeah.
They went all out. It's got an 80-watt system.
Yep.
Good sound speakers. Now I did change mine to the J&M to make it even better.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Now I changed my front speakers to the show chrome. I did a video on that. You guys can check out my library when I changed out the front speakers. I didn't change the rear speakers. I love the way my stereo sound on my 2016. Now, I think with some of the Goldwings from 01 through 2010 may not have the best sounding system. I'm not 100% sure. But
none of them did. No touring bike did.
Right. But on my 16, it sounds really good. I'm not fixing to cut the saddlebags up and put speakers in it. You know, that's just me. You know, to each his own. Now on this new style Honda Goldwing, I must admit that the stereo don't sound as good. For me,
back down. They went back and put the stereo, the kind of speakers in there that were in the 2010 back. 4-inch speakers.
4-inch.
Yeah, on the new one.
Mhm.
They went backwards. They went backwards. The sound system on the 2018 is nothing like the one on the 17 and back.
I'm glad you said that.
Let me ask you this, JC. If you guys just tuning in, this is JC. JC, if Honda can make some changes to a newer Goldwing, what changes? What would be some of the changes that you would like to see, JC?
Man, that's a lot. That's a loaded question. Because what Honda failed to do, I mean, they miserably failed. When you change something, and you can put this in anything, whether you're talking about trains, planes, or automobiles, anything else, you know. When you make a new something, when you redesign something, it's supposed to include all of the advances, you know, and qualities of the previous model, plus all the new stuff. What they did was a complete change and dropped everything. One of the things Cruiseman said is that the navigation system was looked like something from a 1990. You know, it said it was pathetic. You know, the sound system went way back. You know, everything should have been better. Everything should have been better. The only thing I can think of that they've made better is they put a 6-speed transmission on it. Or 8-speed if you got the automatic.
Yeah,
so
it's 7-speed.
They put some more drive, you know.
It's 7-speed.
On the transmission, so that was good.
Yeah, 7-speed, JC. That's 7-speed on the DCT.
Okay.
Yeah, 6-speed manual.
They added double overdrive, so it needed another gear because it's kind of wound out on the 16, the 17 and back. So that was good. They made some improvements on the engine. You know, not a whole lot, but they did make some improvements on it. That's about it. They corrected one flaw. They made the trunk bigger.
Yeah.
Because it was way too small. You know.
Well, let me tell you some of the things that I like about the new style Honda Goldwing.
Okay.
I love the DCT. I love that.
Right.
I love the different drive modes. I like the electronic windshield. The heated grips get hotter. The heated seat get hotter. I love the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I love that. That was actually a deal breaker for me. I love the key fob. I like being able to walk away from the bike and the bike automatically lock.
That is good.
I love the bigger trunk. I love the hill assist. I love the reverse. The reverse is a lot better on this Honda Goldwing than the previous generation Honda Goldwing. The previous generation, you have to stop, put the bike in neutral, press in, you know, find the neutral. That takes a minute. Then you have to press in on the reverse button, and then you have to press in on the that little switch. I can't think of the name of it right now.
On the starter button?
Yeah, the starter switch.
Yeah.
But the reverse on the DCT is so much faster. I mean, man, you know, you pull up to a red light and you don't have to worry about trying to figure out what gear you in. I love the dash. I love the technology of this.
Yeah, they brought it way forward on the technology.
Yeah, the technology. Really I love the LED lights. You know, the LED lights. I love that. It's lighter. It's easier to maneuver, which is better for your knees. Like when you're trying to maneuver the bike, it's lighter, so that's a good thing. It's easier to make U-turns.
And then, if I might, and that's what I was saying earlier, all of the things that they did, the advancement, all the new high-tech stuff that they put on it, but they left some stuff off the old one.
Right.
that they needed to do. So they did all of that new tech. That's great. That's great. But, you know, they left some of the stuff from the previous one. You know, you had mentioned before you bought yours, you know, the things you mentioned, you know, what they really should have done is just improve the others. They should have incorporated all that in there. I don't know how much they could, but they came out with a new improved bike, but they left the stuff for this. They dropped the stuff that the old had. They made it into a sport bike. It got all the technical gadgets, but it's not the same. You know, that's kind of bad. You know.
So JC, you're not too. You don't like the new style wing?
I haven't been impressed with the new one since it came out. Like I said, it's got plenty of gadgetry. You know, it's loaded with, you know, the Japanese are the kings of gadgets, so they're gonna have all the technology in the world. But you know, it's not accurate anymore with two wheels. It's more like a Prelude. You know, it's a sports bike. And so, to me, but I was glad that they did at least realize some of the things they did on it. They said they improved the seat. They did make the trunk bigger, but that was in 2021. They did add Android Auto, because at first they only had Apple CarPlay. And they did admit that they you know, as far as the Japanese companies can do, they did go back and redo the navigation, and they supposedly made a bunch of improvements on it. But it's kind of bad for those that bought 18s, 19s, and 20s. A little too, you know, too little, too late.
Yeah. What year is your Goldwing, JC?
Mine's an 08.
Yours is 08. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I had. I had the 08 white one.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good sound system on those. That was one of them. They changed that in 2006, I believe. Because the 01 to 05 had the same kind of system that was in the previous generation. 06, they came out with a new sound system and a couple of other things. And they improved it again in 2012 with some minor improvements.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I kept my previous generation when I switched over. I know a lot of guys, pretty much everybody I know that bought the new wing, they traded their previous generation in and bought the new wing, whether it's the DCT or a manual. So that was pretty common. I kept mine because, you know, I've always loved the way my big bike felt. I wasn't too crazy about the new Honda Goldwing when they first came out, but now that I've put all of my accessories on there and I've put all my Gold Strike accessories and some of the things I mentioned earlier and the ultimate seat and, you know, all the things I've done, I like the bike. You know, I have no problems with it. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't think no bike is just perfect, and I can see some things that need improving, but overall, I like the bike. Yeah. I wish it was a little bit better in some ways. You know, I wish, you know, I don't like when you switch over. Let's say you were in tour mode and you switch over to, let's say you're riding 70 and you're in tour mode and you want to go to sport. You got to drop all the way down on your speed. I'm not sure to what speed, but you're pretty much almost, sometimes it's kind of dangerous because if cars are coming up behind you, that's not the time to do it. You have to pretty much be on an open road where there's nobody behind you, because if you are in tour mode, let's say you're running 70, you're in tour mode where you want to go to sport mode. Now you got to let off the throttle and let the RPMs drop all the way down, and your speed may be down to, and I'm just making up a speed. This is not 100%, but you may have to drop down to 40 miles an hour from 70 or 30 miles an hour, well, maybe 40 in order for the sport mode to kick on. Now you got to try to pick back up. Now in an automobile, which is totally different, I can change the transmission from sport to track to tour to econ, and it never, you don't miss a beat.
Right,
so that
it's on the fly.
Right, it's on the fly, and I don't have to decrease my speed. And that's an American. So, the bike is not perfect. It's little things like that I wish, that I didn't have to drop speed just to engage to go forward. I don't like that. When you're in gear, it's on. It's if you're in sport mode, it's on. But if you want to take it out of sport mode and go to another gear, then you got to cut your RPMs all the way down, decrease your speed, and let until the indicator stop flashing, and then it kicks on. And like Mr. Brown said, by that time the people you're riding with is way up the road, and now you're trying to double time it to try to catch up with them. Yeah. So technically the best time to change modes is when you're sitting still. Technically, I mean, that's the best time to change modes. If you're doing it while you're rolling, then again, like I say, you're going from a higher speed to a lower speed, letting the gear kick in, and then trying to catch back up. So that's kind of an inconvenience. But overall, I like the bike. Is the Honda Goldwing perfect? No. Is it the best thing since sliced bread? No. Do I wish do I wish the fuel tank was bigger? Yes. So there's some things about the bike that I can see that needs improvement. But overall, I like the new style Honda Goldwing. I like what Honda has done to it.
Well, tell me this, Chris. What happened to did they make the fuel tank smaller?
Yes, they went from a 6.6 to a 5.5.
I wasn't even aware that they had done that. And that's a touring bike.
Yes. And if you pull in a trailer, you're going to consume more fuel. So most people don't pull trailers. But if you pull a trailer, that you're going to consume even more fuel.
Right.
So when you hear guys say, well, it gets the same amount as the big bike. Yeah, but if you put a trailer on there, now you're changing the game. So, in my opinion, I wish the Honda Goldwing had a bigger tank.
Yeah. And I'm not here to totally slam dunk the Honda Goldwing. I'm just saying, for me, all of those things add up to a no-go. But the idea of having an automatic on a 4x5 touring bike is nice. That is nice.
I love that DCT. I love it when if I'm in traffic, I don't have to worry about switching gears.
Right.
If the traffic is creeping and stopping, I don't have to worry about switching gears. On the previous bike, if you come to a red light, let's say you forget to buckle your helmet on the previous bike, you get to a red light, and once you come to a stop, you're trying to find the gear, right? You're trying to find it to go to neutral so you can let off the clutch so you can buckle your helmet. And sometimes it seems like to me, by the time I find the neutral, the light turns green. Now I got to pull back off. Now I got to go back in gear and take off. I never got a chance to buckle my helmet. The thing I like about the DCT, I pull up at a red light, I can let off the throttle. Yeah. It automatically it automatically puts the bike back, it just downshift down the first gear on its own. So when I come to a stop and let the throttle go, it's already in first gear. All I have to do is buckle my helmet. If the light changes, I just squeeze the throttle. Never have to, there is no clutch unless you manual shifting. So, right. The bike is not perfect, but overall, I love my Honda products. I love my Honda generator. I'm a Honda fanboy. I love my Honda Goldwing. So it's not perfect. It can use some changes, but overall, I'm happy with the bike. And once again, I got the previous generation, and if the price is right, somebody can get it.
Don't say it too many times.
and I'm serious. If the price is right, and I'll leave my number down in the description of the video. You know.
Well, we gotta talk when this call ends. When this video ends, we gotta talk.
Now, also, let me say this: since JC has the 2008, JC might be willing to switch and take your 2023, and he give up his 2008. What do you think about that, JC?
Oh boy, you had me until you got to that, Chris. I was enjoying myself.
And as a bonus, look, he might even throw in Urkel. That's his scooter. So not only you're not only, that's two for the price of one.
Hey, JC.
No. Oh boy, no, Urkel. I can't get rid of Urkel.
JC.
Yeah.
JC. How many miles on your 08?
Say what?
How many miles you have on your 08 Goldwing? How many miles on it?
Roughly 40, between 40 and 45. I hadn't ridden it so long because I had so many things going on, but between 40 and 45.
We need to talk because my 23 also has some accessories that I put on it.
Yeah, but no, I'm not interested in a 23. I'm not interested in the third generation at all.
Mm.
Chris just
Wow.
acting up. But
So
I'm not interested in a third generation Goldwing.
he's gonna give you a 2023 for your 08 and Urkel. He's gonna take Urkel off your hand free of charge.
Oh man, Urkel's not a burden. You're gonna take him off my head.
Yeah, free of charge.
Urkel back.
What kind of bike is that scooter? JC, what kind of scooter you got?
It's a Suzuki Bergman 400.
Suzuki Bergman 400.
They made 3 Bergmans. They had a 200, a 400, and a 650. They quit making the 650 a few years ago. It just got too high. That thing was a Cadillac on 2 wheels. So they quit. It had electric windshield, electric mirror that folded in when you park it. It had heated seats, heated hand grips. It was really overdone for a scooter. A 650 engine, would do 130 something miles an hour. But they finally discontinued that. It had gotten up to $14,000, and it was just overdone, I guess. So now they got the 200 and the 400, and the 400 is that's a whole lot of scooter,
Melvin Harris said, "I never go into sport mode because it sounds too grungy."
Sounds too what?
Grungy.
Might be Revan's kind of. I don't know. You know what I wonder? I wonder how many people actually bought the Goldwing and a manual transmission. You never hear anybody talk about that.
I've known a couple people to do it. How many people that are watching this video has purchased a new Goldwing in a manual transmission? And if so, how do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you wish you would have bought the DCT, or are you happy with the manual? Let's see here. Let's read a couple of these comments before I end this thing.
The Pittsburgh Steelers came back on the Tennessee Titans. Their team's about to take a nosedive.
Kenneth Dupree said, but since buying the 2023 and adding his own personal taste, he love it. Lawrence Cole is watching. It's good to hear from you, Lawrence Cole. Good to hear from you, man. Hadn't heard from you in a while. Call me sometime. See, turn your radio down a little bit, JC. Had a Casey Berry. Casey Berry says, yeah, because got a lot of feedback here. Or hit your mute button. Casey Berry had a 2018 manual traded for a 2022 DCT. Player Ben said he loved the manual. Leroy Brown, I have the 2023. Robert Taylor, the new generation is just too small for me. My knees hit, but my 06 knees don't. That was by Robert Taylor. Roll with Soul said the Bagger is an awesome bike. It's an informative content. I watch Calientes for the educational and informative content on the Goldwing. Robin Dubois, he said, Chris, just to let you know, I'm in Montreal, Canada, and I'm in depression because I have to store my Goldwing for the winter season. I'm sorry to hear about that, Robin. Just keep the snow and cold weather to the north of the Mason-Dixon line. Roll with Soul said he's actually will be waiting until next spring to trade up to the Goldwing. He's currently loving his modified Rebel 1100 DCT and hope to keep it for life. Player Ben says, Chris, next time you're in Cali, I'm going to hook up with you. And he also said he put a digital CD device on his bike from the guy you were riding with at Wing Stuff. I think it was, but my sound system sounds great. Sean Eakin said that 5.25 speakers will fit the new wing with modifications. Robert Taylor said, I find that adding a low profile under the seat woofer is all he needed. Fits well on the trunk with room for helmet and more. TJF Denver, Chris, your bike is a mobile Christmas tree.
That's good. I don't know whether he means it that way or not, but that's a compliment.
Player Ben.
You look at the way people drive out there.
Yeah, it's almost getting too dangerous to drive. Player Ben.
You need to have it lit up like a Christmas tree.
Dwight Bernheimer. I tripped over this just now. Best show ever. You can't pay for this kind of entertainment. Thanks so much. You're welcome, Dwight. Dwight also says, I think I was married to Mr. Brown's sister one time. Couldn't please her with anything. I couldn't please her either. Dwight Bernheimer. Casey Berry had a 2018 had a 25 watt. At least in 2021 they upgraded to a 45 or 55 watt, but it could be better. He agreed.
Yeah, that system when they first came out, that optional $1,200 system, and I might be wrong, it might have been higher than that. You can look on video to see, but that system had a 400 watt amp and upgraded 4-inch speakers that were more robust. And, like I said, I don't know of anybody that bought. The dealer here said they never sold any. So, it's something to buy a $30,000+ motorcycle and then, have to spend another $1,200+ to get good sound.
Yeah, that was
when they came out with in 06, when they came out with the upgraded system that we have on the second generation, they made it standard equipment. It was not an option. It came out with that. The only option was the 6-disc CD changer, which I bought for mine. And that is awesome.
Right.
I know a lot of people don't play CDs anymore, but you spend 30 years collecting CDs. You don't just throw them away and buy a USB plug.
That is true. Player Ben said he put that digital CD player device on his bike from the guy you were riding with at Wing Stuff. So apparently Player Ben bought a digital CD player from Wing Stuff.
Yeah, that was converting them over to USBs on the second generation. A lot of people did that.
Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this live feed. Mr. Brown, I'm gonna give y'all guys closing words if you want to say anything. JC and Mr. Brown before I end this live feed. So if you guys are just tuning in, we have been on for over 2 hours. I was only planning on being on maybe 30 minutes, so we're way over. And I think we're gonna call it a night. But JC, is there anything you want to say before we end the live feed?
I would like to say, Mr. Brown, now you have an '08 also?
No, I got rid of my '08.
Okay, you traded it on your 23.
Right. He traded his '08 for the 2023, and now he's unhappy with the 2023.
Right. If you don't mind me asking, now what state are you in?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. Well, good to talk to you. I hope everything works out. You know, I don't know what to say. It's not. I don't know. Maybe you could look at the BMW K series.
No, I'm praying that you change your mind about your bike with 40,000 miles on it. That sounds real sweet to me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna let mine go. I think I'll probably hold on to my '08 and Urkel.
And Urkel. and his scooter.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. Brown, do you have anything you want to say before we end this live feed, or is there anything else you want to add before we
I want to thank all the viewers for their calls, their compliments, their opinions, their views. Thank those that showed the love. Thank the ones who did. The ones who hard on me doesn't faze me at all.
All right.
They got opinions. They're entitled to their opinions. So I appreciate it. And yes, this was fun. I believe me. I'm still smiling. Trying not to laugh so much.
Okay.
This was fun.
Yeah, y'all really made me laugh. I was trying not to laugh. And again, this is not a joke. This is not a prank. This is serious. I would like to thank Steve in Minnesota that called in.
Okay.
And he talked about his 20. He traded his 21 6-speed manual for a 23 DCT, and he's very happy with it. Also, I'd like to thank Robert from Michigan that called in and offered his advice to Mr. Brown and sharing his testimony. And also JC. I appreciate JC calling in. JC is always welcome on the live feeds. JC is actually the one that got me started darksiding. So if you see this car tire that's right behind me, that's because of JC. So just to put that out there. And also, last but not least, I'd like to thank Mr. Brown for just being totally honest. And that's what it's all about. This live feed is not to put down the Honda Goldwing. This live feed is not to bash the Honda Goldwing. So my apologies for laughing, but this is serious. And I think that more Honda Goldwing owners should have this discussion. I mean, and just be honest. To die your own self, be true.
Yeah.
And you have to be honest with yourself. And then you never know. Honda may actually watch this video, and this is actually like feedback to them. So you have to be honest. You have to just be honest with yourself and be honest with your comments. And that's what I try to do. I just try to keep everything real. And I'm going to close on this. I have the new style Honda Goldwing. I have the previous generation Honda Goldwing. I love them both. I absolutely love my DCT Honda Goldwing. And again, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. You got to spend money on it and buy the accessories that you need to make it comfortable. Because it needs a lot. I mean, it's not a perfect bike. But if you fix it up and do a lot of things to it, it'll make up for the things that the bike is lacking. So, and you got to do that with any bike. So it doesn't matter if it's a Honda Goldwing, if it's a Harley, a Kawasaki, you know, a Suzuki, a Can-Am. You still have to do things to it to make it your own. And I highly recommend, if you can, get an ultimate seat. That makes a world of difference. But I've also had a rider the other day that said the ultimate seat was hard. So you guys would be surprised. You guys are surprised. You'll be surprised how many people tell me things privately that I'll hear after I recommend a product. So what works for me may not work for you, but to thy own self be true. So we need to have more conversations like this. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. I want you to put it down in the comment section below if you would like to see more live feeds in the Caliente garage. Put it in the comment section. You know, let me know some of the topics that you want me to cover, or some of the things you want us to talk about. You know, we can be serious, and then we can laugh a little bit too. You know, laughter make the heart grows fonder. So with that being said, I'm gonna end the live feed. I'd like to thank all of my viewers and subscribers that tuned in and watched. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And be sure to check the description of the video for any additional information concerning anything we talked about here today. So I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna end this live feed, and I'll talk to you guys later.